Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvatranam, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's start with our prayers. Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Presthaya, Bhutale, Srimate Romapada Swamin, Iti Namine, Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Presthaya, Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin, Iti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji. This is our third class on Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first class we understood about the introduction of Bhagavatam, what was the need of Bhagavatam, and evidences how Bhagavatam is the Amala Puran. In the second class we did the first 3 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first 3 chapters, the sages, by the questions, we understood about who is Sutta Goswami, who is Shukadeva Goswami, who is Shaunaka and other rishis of Naimisharanya, and then the questions, 6 questions by the sages of Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami, and the 6 answers given in detail. 1, 2, 3. 3 chapters. Now we will go for the 4, 5 and 6, which are like complementary to each other, and about Narada Muni. So those 3 chapters today we will be covering. First chapter is the appearance of Narada Muni. Second chapter, fourth chapter is appearance of Narada Muni. Fifth chapter is Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. And chapter 6 is conversation between Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. All these chapters, the center of attraction is Srimad Bhagavatam only. But it is divided into 3, and we are going to understand in brief. I won't say detail because detail in the classes might not be possible, but briefly, so that you can dig around the purports and understand more briefly about these 3 particular chapters and what is covered in these 3 chapters. Let's go to the 4th chapter, the appearance of Narada Muni. We will segregate this into 4 sections, Mataji. 5 and 6 we may not be able to do that, or if we do that also I'll say later as a message, but this one we will segregate and start first of all. First canto, 4th chapter, let's take into 4 sections. 1.4.1 to 1.4.13 is Shaunaka Rishi's questions. This is not the questions asked by the sages, the 6 questions, the main topics, not that. This is an inquisitive inquiry of Shaunaka Rishi to Sutta Goswami. And 1.4.14 to 1.4.25 is Vyasadeva explaining about how he has divided the Vedas. Remind me, I will send you that sectionizing, and then later who great personalities have taken up the responsibility of those 4 Vedas and all those things. But sectionizing the Vedas is the second part of 4.14 to 4.25. 4.26 to 4.31 is Vyasadev's dissatisfaction. He has did so much of job, Puranas, Itihasas. Other than the 4 Vedas, he has did lot of other work also. Mahabharata itself is a separate whole thing. It doesn't come under the 4 Vedas or 6 Shastras. It is separate, Mahabharata. It's a Purana. Panchaveda. So that 5th Veda, these 4 Vedas and the other things, he wrote so many things. So next verses would be 4.26 to 4.31, Vyasadev's dissatisfaction. 4.32 and 33, two verses in this chapter exclusively talk about Narada Muni's appearance. Now, in this Shaunaka Rishi's questions, the background of Srimad Bhagavatam is being described. How did Vyasadeva get his inspiration is also described. how did the citizens of Hastinapur recognize Shukadev Goswami? Details and birth activities of Parikshit Maharaj are also discussed in future chapters. Details of how did he take birth. We talked briefly in the first for the evolution of Srimad Bhagavatam, but how did Maharaj Parikshit meet Sukadev Goswami also been detailedly discussed. Now this Shaunaka Rishi, for asking other than the 6 questions more inquisitively about Srimad Bhagavatam, is because of his eagerness to hear Srimad Bhagavatam has increased when he understood from Shuta Goswami that Srimad Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun, right? We discussed last time, as brilliant as the sun, and it is the reason for its evolution is to dissipate the darkness of Kali Yuga. Is a very important thing. The reason for why Srimad Bhagavatam needed. Yes, religious principles take shelter of, but why is because it is filled with knowledge, the light of knowledge. In our prayers we do Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I am blind of knowledge, and the Guru comes with the torchlight of knowledge and opens my blind eyes or removes the darkness. It's like that. So Shaunaka recognized that Krishna Katha is the medicine for all kinds of illness in this world. That's the only medicine. Either a person have a mental problem, either a person have physical problem, either a person have a spiritual problem, material problem, whatever problem, the solution is only Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a chapter itself called Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. He probes deeper, asking Shuta Goswami about Srimad Bhagavatam's history. Vyasadeva has already composed all the Vedas, then why he had to again write Srimad Bhagavatam? What was the need? So these all questions like Shaunaka Muni is asking, we can say for us, for our welfare. It was what inspired Vyasadeva to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva saw the potency in Srimad Bhagavatam. Basically, these all people have done this with compassion. It's not just that for their own purification or their own going back to Krishna, but they have lot of compassion for the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. Vyasadeva, through his transcendental vision, Vyasadeva is none other than literary incarnation of Krishna, so he could see with his transcendental vision that deterioration of everything material is going to happen due to the influence of Kali. It was happening already. So faithless people will be completely deluded because of the influence of Kali. Then what happens is that duration of life, it becomes small, and the mode of goodness starts disappearing slowly. It will be all passion and ignorance. This he has contemplated for the welfare of everybody who are going to see the effects of Kali Yuga. He wanted to give a meaning, or he wanted to give a means to the fallen souls to gradually progress towards where? Towards the purpose or goal of the human life. There is no difference between animal and human life in general. Humans are called well-behaved animals or social animals. We are animals but social, like etiquette, rules. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending. These are the 4 things, whatever we do, are classified into, or we do for those four things. We eat, we sleep, we mate, we defend. Animals also do these four things. We may be eating in steel plates, porcelain plates, blah blah dinner sets and all, but they eat regularly. But eating is eating only. Sleeping, we might be sleeping in sealies, this bed, that bed. They'll sleep wherever they get shelter. Mating, it's a very general attraction towards the opposite sex, and that happens. And defending, everybody defends. Nobody will take like, okay, come and kill me. Defending is there in everybody. But what is the difference is, we have, as human beings, we have something called higher intelligence, and we have to use that higher intelligence to be inquisitive about what is beyond this eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Who am I? Whole Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, body and soul. We will do in our Bhakti Riksha, of course, coming weeks. So it's very important that we have to be knowledgeable. Being ignorant cannot be an excuse. Animals can have excuse. Animals have different other ways to go back or to get a devotee life and all those things. But humans, the only way is to build the knowledge and develop the love for Krishna so that we can go back to him. It's important. It's very important. So with that higher intelligence, we have to become inquisitive. But for that, we need the mercy. We need the support. A drowning person in the river needs a support. Whoever that guard throws something, right, to hold on to and then come, or there any wooden log or something which floats, we need support. And that biggest support is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is none other than Krishna in the form of a book. Is Bhagavad Gita also Krishna in the form of a book, Mataji? Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's teachings in the form of a book. What we have to learn from Krishna, because Krishna spoke that. It's like Krishna speaking to us. When you read Bhagavad Gita, it's like Krishna speaking to us. But it's Bhagavatam, it's Krishna himself. Our dear, the second section of this chapter speaks about divisioning of Vedas. So Vyasadeva divides the Vedas into 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, and all these details you can get easily. It's just you Google it, saying on the side is corner anything, you will get it. All these Vedas dealing with what, and then later that responsibilities also he transferred it to the very qualified personalities. Rig Veda responsibility was given to Paila Rishi, to more expand on that, to more study on that, to more give explanation and commentary and all those things. Then Sama Veda he gave it to Jaimini Rishi. Jaimini Rishi is one of the great rishis again. He also did something related to Bhagavatam. Yajur Veda is given to Vaishampayana Rishi. Vaishampayana Rishi. And then Atharva Veda is given to 2 Munis, Angira Muni and Sumanta Muni. Atharva Veda has been developed, again classified, and then more details, research. That department is given to. So the head of Atharva Veda is Angira Muni and Sumanta Muni. Other than these 5 Vedas, as you also mentioned, the 5th Veda is Mahabharata. And many Itihasas and many Puranas. Mahabharata, little details, it has a special significance. Out of compassion, this great sage Vyasadeva thought it is wise that this world enables men to achieve ultimate goal of life. In this Kali Yuga, men have to achieve the ultimate goal of life. So he compiled, if he just compiled Bhagavad Gita, maybe not many would have been interested in Kali Yuga. First of all, they are not ready to accept the authority. Even atheistic people are not ready to accept the authority of Krishna being Supreme Personality of the Godhead. And Bhagavad Gita speaks about Krishna being the Supreme Personality of the Godhead and his instructions. So thus he compiled something with the narration involving everything and everybody also. The less intelligent people, the laborers, the people who like most of politics. It's like it has everything, Mahabharata. You won't miss in Mahabharata anything. It's like you're watching a serial with mummy, daddy. There is a mummy character, there is a daddy character, there is a kid character.
All characters in Mahabharata.
Emotions and everything. So you won't miss. It will be like a novel or a story or like that. So Vyasadeva did that, but he was not happy. He was not at all happy. His happiness, forget about happiness. He started feeling himself as very. I did not do anything. After doing so much, he felt like he did not do anything. So he goes to his spiritual master, Narad Muni. He says, Narad Muni, I'm dissatisfied. I'm not happy. I need your help. I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. Narad Muni says, everything is okay. But without glorifying enough the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, whatever you have done is called jugupsitam, abominable. So once you do that, you will feel satisfaction and it becomes complete. So let's discuss more on this Narada Muni's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. Sutta Goswami is speaking this because Shaunaka Rishi is asking and Sutta Goswami is speaking this. Narad Muni, comfortably seated in a place, smiling nicely towards Vyasadeva, Sutta Goswami smiling towards the rishis also, he addresses Vyasadeva. He says, Vyasadeva's father name is Parashara Muni. He says, O son of Parashara, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as the object of self-realization?
Something is blocking, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. So is it Narad Muni asked Vyasadeva for to clear his confusion or for to clear his dissatisfaction. Narad Muni asked Vyasadeva that do you feel satisfied if you identify self-realization through body or the mind as object of self-realization? Your study was full. Your study was complete. Your inquiries also were full. And there is no doubt that you prepared a great, amazing, wonderful work for the Kali Yuga through Mahabharata, 5th Veda. Because what is there inside it? It's Bhagavad Gita is there inside it. The whole meaning of Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita only. Which is like all 4 kinds of Vedic sequentials elaborately explained in Mahabharata. But you have completely delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as knowledge that comes from this understanding. You gave everything now. Impersonal Brahman talk also you gave, Vedas also you gave, Shastras also gave. Recently there was a question in the Sunday class. Braj Bihari Prabhu, very, very elevated personality. She is Radhanath Maharaj disciple. He was there, Brahmachari. And one of the Mataji asked the significance of having 10 heads or 10 arms of Ravana. So I have heard somewhere with the references, scriptural references, that the 10 heads, 10 arms or the 10 bodily things of Ravana are 6 Shastras and 4 Vedas. He is very, very, very intelligent person. but later this understanding of 6 shastra and 4 vedas is overpowered by his power and lust. So they are like a disrupted form or deformed understanding of the knowledge of Vedic knowledge or Shastric knowledge. So those 10 transform into 6 Arishad Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, all those 6, plus mind, intelligence, Chitta, Manaha, and something else, total 4. So 4 plus 6, it's 10 heads, like that. So these Vedas, these Shastras, yes, they make meaning when their anta or the conclusion is understanding Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Then Vyasadeva says, whatever you have told about me, my dear spiritual master, or my dear Narada, is perfect. You told me, you glorified me and everything, but I am not satisfied. So I want to ask you, what is the root cause of my dissatisfaction? You are the son of Brahma, you are self-born without mundane father or mother. So my Lord, for me this is very mysterious that I have did everything in relation to Supreme Personality of the Godhead, everything in for the welfare of Kali Yuga, but I am not happy. He glorifies Narad Muni also very much. It is a very wonderful quality and etiquette to glorify the spiritual master when you see him. They don't need, they don't seek, they don't ask for, but it is for our purification. We have to always glorify our teacher. That's how our receptacle of understanding this knowledge through the disciplic succession becomes open. He starts saying to Narad Muni, you are like a sun. The goodness quality or the pure goodness quality in you can travel everywhere in the 3 worlds along with you. He compares with an analogy of how the aroma is carried in the air. In that way, your mood, your nature, your goodness is carried for everyone. Your bhakti is all pervasive. Your knowledge is all pervasive. Your charm is all pervasive. So therefore, please tell me, where did I go wrong? Then Narada Muni starts speaking. You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of personality of the Godhead. You did not. You did not. And whatever you did in between, little, it's not enough. The philosophy that which not satisfies, or that does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord, is told to be worthless. It's not only just explaining about the Lord. By explaining about the Lord in such depth will please the Lord. The ultimate goal is to Hari Toshanam. Toshanam means making happiness, giving happiness. Toshanam word comes from the base word of Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Toshanam means satisfaction. So whose Toshanam we have to work for? Hari Toshanam. Not my Toshanam, my husband Toshanam, my kids Toshanam, my mother-in-law Toshanam, my father-in-law Toshanam. No. It should be always centered around Hari Toshanam. By doing Hari Toshanam, will others be neglected? No, never. Never. Because you are doing this for the ultimate benefit for everybody. Narada Muni says, you have described about very nicely 4 principles beginning with religious performances. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha and all those things. You have not described the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Vasudeva, from whom all these things come. Any words, those which do not describe the glories of the Lord, will not have the power of sanctifying in a wholesome way. It gives only temporary benefit. They cannot whoever is the listener, reader, studying person will not get the complete permanent pleasure if there is no inclusion of uh, Supreme Personality of the Godhead glories. Whereas the scripture which has full descriptions of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela and everything of the Supreme is totally a different creation. It is full of transcendental words, full of transcendental. I use the word transcendental again and again. Transcendental means that which is above the three modes of material nature. Anything transcendental will not have any karmic reactions. Anything less than transcendental, which is influenced by the three modes of material nature, has karmic reactions. I reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you hearing Srimad Bhagavatam can't have any karmic reactions, either punya or papa. We don't get punya or we don't get papa. Oh Mataji, the punyamaina pane kada. This is the punya karyam, right? So why won't we get punya? The reason is what the punya what we get is spiritual piety, that which is carried by our soul when we leave the body. I'm talking here about the material piety, punya, that which makes us to stick to this material world again and again after we leaving the body also. Srimad Bhagavatam is a transcendental scripture. By having that pure transcendental knowledge and understanding the knowledge, we will get out of this material world. So Srimad Bhagavatam is liberation giving thing, is a liberator. Whereas anything else you do, it's going to be a bondage thing. Such kind of scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, they, though unknowingly, are little bit misunderstood, or unknowingly are little bit not told exactly what is there, still have complete potency to get one to the platform of a devotee. Devotee in the sense one who worships Lord Vishnu. So you'll come to that platform for definitely. It's hard to understand Krishna without Srimad Bhagavatam. It's hard to understand the supremacy of Supreme Lord without Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very difficult to understand the six opulences of the Bhagavan in full at the same time without Srimad Bhagavatam. There are six opulences: his beauty, his charm, his power, his valor, his renunciation, his mercy, many things, all the six things. That's why this is done by Parashara Muni. Vyasadev's father gives the definition of who is called Bhagavan, one who possesses all these six in full: strength, beauty, power, wealth, or renunciation also. Narad Muni says, "Oh Vyasadev, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless, there is no doubt. You have done everything very truthfully, that's for sure." Decline. No. Jai Prabhu. Okay. And you can now think about the pastimes of the Lord in trance. Just close your eyes. You know everything about Lord Krishna. Exclusively think about those pastimes, that which help one to get liberated from this material bondage. Wow. Narad Muni is giving such nice instructions, and he is saying that you did the best job, wonderful job, what you have given is very useful to the society and all those things, but for the ultimate good, first you have to, like I prepare before I give you the classes, first you meditate, think, meditate, because there are unlimited pastimes of Krishna. You can't explain all the unlimited pastimes. We discussed, right? Bhagavatam though wanted, but this time in this current system, whatever is useful to us, that will be given. Everything is useful, but what can be given is been given. Whatever your desire is to describe that through this vision, try to put it into Srimad Bhagavatam. Very nice. It's like without Srimad Bhagavatam, if you give all these things, it will be like a boat left in a fully windy river or water reservoir. Okay, I gave the boat, but you are leaving it in a place when there is lot of wind, lot of tides. So there is 100% chance that the boat can drown. Already in Kali Yuga, people are more inclined to enjoy. And now you are encouraging them in that way by the name of religion or dharma, artha, kama and moksha. And this is unreasonable for the people of Kali Yuga. Because they will be guided under your instruction. You are like authority. Veda Vyas is like authority. They will accept these all activities you mentioned in the name of religion and will hardly care for the prohibitions. What should not be done, they will forget. What should be done, you did not give ultimately. That is the devotional service. And they will be lost in this cycle of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, any other religious things. They will forget about who am I, how I can connect to the source of everything. Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality who is retired from all kinds of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, who are not well situated due to their material attachments in this material world should be shown the ways of transcendental realization, or else they cannot get out of it. They will always read these things only, and they will get more and more into this material circle of janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. Birth, death, old age, disease. That's it. Death, birth, death, old age and disease. 4 things. Sometimes, though we accept a spiritual path, because of some ugra karma or past karma, or we can say because of our inclinations towards illusion more, there are chances to fall down at immature stage. But there is no danger of being unsuccessful, because though you are not completely engaged on the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and continue with your occupational duties, you will have benefit of Srimad Bhagavatam. Suppose somebody is studying in this material world in 10th grade. Unfortunately, they lost their life. They took birth in another place. They remember everything, that their life was what. And they say that I studied till 10th grade, now give me the admission in 11th grade. They don't get the admission in 11th grade. So whatever we study or whatever we do, the name, fame, everything is gone here only in this life. It cannot be carried. But anything we do towards our eternal existence of being a soul and trying to get connected to the source of us is carried over as through the subtle body. There is something called gross body, there is something called subtle body. Mind, intelligence and false ego. Bhumi rapo nalo vair kam mano buddhi revacha. These are the 8 separated energies of me, Krishna says. So our panchabhutas, this body, this limbs, everything is going to go and mix in panchabhutas. But there is something called mind, intelligence and ego. This will be carried through the soul into another body. So when we fill this subtle body, or we completely engage in the service to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead by understanding the Lord, or by serving the Lord, or by serving the devotees, automatically that is not called as punya, that is called as spiritual piety, which carries forward through your subtle body into the next body. So people who are intelligent, first only I told, right, sumedasha, people who are intelligent always should endeavor and inclined towards the most purposeful scripture or the knowledge through which we can break this cycle of janma mrityu jara vyadi. So the best and the intelligent study and the knowledge, because the problem is not desiring, the problem is we don't have knowledge. Ignorance is the problem. Once we get the proper knowledge, we know what to desire, and we get the deserving qualification also to receive that. Narad Muni says, my dear Vyasadev, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna, sometimes falls down somehow or the other, he does not undergo material existence like others for sure. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, apichet sudaracharo, that somebody is fallen down, but again he is back into the path of bhakti. We should not be punishing him or talking bad about him or finding faults with him, because he has taken up devotional service again. So if at all we have this knowledge of Bhagavatam, if at all we act according to the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, then obviously that person, though might lost in touch with Bhagavatam's knowledge or devotional service at the end of his life or middle of his life, still he will be taken care. His existence now and his existence later out of this body, means in next life, is going to be very conducive towards bhakti. Krishna is in this creation, in this cosmic manifestation, but he is completely aloof from it, untouched. He is not sitting with us, and he is not playing with the three modes of material nature, or he is getting influenced by the three modes of material nature. Not only just emanation, creation, afterwards everything during dissolution, everything goes back and rests back in him only. There is no other personality where these all things go in. Okay, creation happens from me. Okay, annihilation time everything goes somewhere else. No, Krishna is not like that. Krishna is the source of everything, so he is the resting place for everyone also, everything also. Vyasadeva again glorifies, Narad Muni again glorifies Vyasadeva, saying that with the mood of goodness, what you are writing is really, really perfect. You just now meditate on the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. He did not say, Srimad Bhagavatam, you write 18,000 verses, you do these many chapters, you tell about these kings, you tell about these sages, you tell about these devotees. No, he did not tell anything. You are also birthless, actually, Vyasadeva. He says, you are also birthless. You have appeared on this earth for the well-being of other people only. So there is a purpose for your coming here. And that purpose is, that's why you are not satisfied, because your purpose was not fulfilled then. Now it is fulfilled when you write about the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Glorify, 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 glorify. Then in this process, he tells about his appearance. Vyasadeva was inquisitive, so he asked, and Narad Muni tells about his appearance. Appearance of Narad Muni is one of our topics, today's topics. So he says that in the last millennium, I was born as a son of maid servant who was involved in the service of Brahmanas. She was making them food. During the 4 months of rainy season, they're called bhakti vedantas or sages or saints who are in the purpose of only preaching, nothing else their business. So they will not travel during the 4 months of rainy season. If you look at Ramayana, tomorrow is Ramachandra Bhagavan's appearance, say Ramanavami. If you look at Ramayana also, Rama, Lakshmana, and along with the Sugriva and everybody don't go for waging war to Ravana during that rainy season. This is not the time, so this is not the right time, so we have to wait like that. So during these 4 months of rainy season, when these saints used to visit, my mother used to serve them. She used to do personal service to them. Although they were very impartial by nature, blessed me with their causeless mercy. I was very, very self-controlled and had no attachments for any other sportive activities like other children. I was not naughty, and I did not speak more than required. Once I, with their permission, took the remnants of their food. This is the power of a qualified devotee's remnants. That's why if a Maharaj we serve anybody and we ask for maha means mahaprasad, means that which they ate, what is left over, if we get to eat, that means we get some buddhi, we get some intelligence, we get some mercy. So he says only with their permission I took little remnants of the food, and by so doing all my sins were at once eradicated. This is Narada Muni. This is Narada Muni's before life.
That means like Narada Muni asked them like to give little bit of food.
Can I take this whatever you have left over here from food? Can I
that doesn't call the Engili, Mataji?
That's what is important, right? Engili of the greatest person will give us some mercy, will give us some. That's why they look for. That's why they wash the feet, and that water they put it on the head, that water they drink, that dust they took. Thus, by being engaged in that service and getting the remnants of those great saints called Bhakti Vedantas, anybody who teaches about philosophy, including Krishna, they are called Bhakti Vedantas. So, became purified. I became purified. My nature became transcendental. He says, oh my dear Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of these great Vedantis, I could hear them describe attractive qualities of Krishna. Because they used to do Krishna Katha. Wherever the saints go, there is no other thing. Reading, writing, speaking. Shrinvanti, Gayanti, Grihnanti. Hear, glorify and meditate. They used to describe all the attractive qualities of Krishna. Eating by their remnants and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing the Supreme Personality of the Godhead increased step by step. As soon as I got this taste for the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, my attention to hear towards that Supreme Lord became more and more keen, more and more unflinching. And I was able to realize that it was my own ignorance that I have accepted this gross and subtle coverings. But in truth, the Jiva and the Ishvara have same transcendental nature. Because of my forgetfulness, because of my ignorance, I have been falling for these modes of material nature, but as such the soul inside me is also Sachidananda. Thus during the 2 seasons, the rainy season and the autumn, I had an opportunity to hear these great souls constantly chanting unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. So these all things of Narada Muni sharing his life history pre-life history, and life history is building inspiration in Vyasadev to write Srimad Bhagavatam, to meditate on the Supreme Personality of the Godhead's activities. The coverings of my once I started devotional service, then the coverings of the modes of this passion and ignorance started vanishing. Like an onion peels, there are a lot of coverings which are blocking the eternal nature of us being Satchitananda, eternal nature of being the soul separated from Krishna. I was very much attached to these sages. Narada Muni says, I was very, very much attached to these sages. I was very gentle in my behavior, and slowly, with this attachment towards the sadhu and Krishna's activities, my all sins got eradicated. I started having strong faith in my heart for these great personalities. With my body and mind, I was exactly following what the sages wanted in general everybody to do to get that original position of being a soul subservient to the Supreme. As when they were leaving, they were very kind towards poor-hearted souls like me, and they instructed me the most confidential subject which is instructed by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. It's called, like in Bhagavad Gita there is a verse, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. They have seen the truth, so they will impart you that transcendental knowledge when you sincerely serve them. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashna, and inquisitively inquire from them about self-realization. They are not meant for you to ask, oh Maharaj, should I buy a lottery ticket? Will I get lottery or not if I buy? Oh Maharaj, should I go to Ayurveda, allopathy or homeopathy? They are not for that reason here. They are here for our spiritual upbringing. If they ask you how are you, that doesn't mean that you go and tell 100 problems what you have. What they mean is, how is your sadhana? How is your spiritual life? Is it disturbing? Is it okay? Something like that. So Bhaktivedantas really gave the most confidential, guhyam guhyataram, guhyam secretive, guhyataram the most secretive knowledge. Again, the knowledge is nothing but pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which we are not doing and which we have shown our back to that particular process. They told that understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. He is the creator of everything. He is the maintainer of everything. And he is the annihilator of everything. By knowing this particular truth, you can return to him and personally meet him. Wow. Simple prayers. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Supreme Controller. That's the first line. Sachidananda Vigraha, he is the embodiment of eternality, knowledge and bliss. Satchit Ananda Vigraha, embodiment. Anadiradir Govinda, he is the most primeval Lord, who is known as Govinda, who takes care of the cows and who is the maintainer of our senses. Anadiradir Govinda. Govinda word has that meaning. Go means senses, go means also cows. One who is the controller or the maintainer of the cows, and one who is the controller or maintainer of the senses. Once you know him in this way, that means your life is successful. They have told me that the best remedial measure for removing all the troubles and all the miseries is to dedicate one's all activities in the service to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna. By doing that, it's not only just purificatory for the soul, but also it is clearance of all the karma, papam, bijam, kutam, everything is cleared. Unmanifested karma, manifested karma, everything is cleared. The problem is we forgot our relationship with Krishna. The solution is we have to get the knowledge and rebuild that lost connection. Simple. When our all activities are dedicated towards the Supreme Lord, or the result of all our activities are dedicated to the Supreme Lord, then automatically there won't be any bondage to this material world. If you do good activity, you have to come back to this material world because to enjoy the results of the activity. If you do bad activity, you have to come back to this material world because you have to take the punishment of this activity. But when you perform the transcendental activity for the pleasure of the God, you will not have any bondage. Iron shackles, golden shackles, either shackles, you have to be there in this Durgalayam and Dukkhalayam. But once we do the things which are for Krishna, who is transcendental, we will not have any binding. While performing duties according to the orders of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, what happens is we constantly remember about him. We constantly remember about his names. We constantly remember about his qualities. We constantly remember about his pastimes and playful activities, killing activities, and many other activities. So let us chant the glories of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is father. Vasudeva is Krishna. So let us chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his expansions, 4 expansions, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana, this one. Along with them, let's chant the glories. Narad Muni is saying to Vyasadeva, he says, I was ignorant, and I have been shown the light by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead through the Bhakti Vedantas. We studied in the first class of ours that whoever is speaking about the Lord or Srimad Bhagavatam is the representative of the Lord. So these Bhakti Vedantas were kind of representatives of the Lord who had to give this knowledge to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni is the representative of the God who came to give the knowledge to Vyasadeva. So therefore, please describe all the Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of Vedas, for or because that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned people. At the same time, it will mitigate the miseries of common people also. It is simple and sublime. We studied last class only, right? Why it is simple and why it is sublime. It is simple. For a simple person, it is simple. For a person who is too intelligent, it's sublime and more understanding and more closer and serving method. Very important, very important. And Vyasadeva also speaks. We have 5 minutes to continue. So in the conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva, Suta Goswami says, because you have to remember this hierarchy, Suta Goswami, Shaunakadi Rishis are asking Suta Goswami, and Suta Goswami is explaining about Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is hearing from Narad Muni. Narad Muni is telling his back history. This hierarchy you should keep remembering in the mind, like how Sanjaya is speaking to Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya is speaking what is happening in the battlefield. In that inside again Krishna and Arjuna are speaking. What is Krishna saying? What is Arjuna saying? Like that 2-3 step hierarchy. So now Suta Goswami is addressing the Shaunakadi Rishis and saying, thus by hearing Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, the incarnation of the God, and he is the son of Satyavati, Ganesha Mataji, the same calls for the material. Exit, end, and now send to voicemail, hold. Iren Prabhu, end of the but at least in a video radha. How to ignore, I don't know. Okay. Sorry, Mataji, adi inkoka call so okakasari the video vellipottadi. So Vyasadeva, the incarnation of the Lord, then started asking. Till now Narad Muni was speaking. Vyasadeva did not speak anything. Narad Muni instructed and explained about his life also and why he is asking Vyasadeva to write about Srimad Bhagavatam. And now Vyasadeva is saying What did you do after the departure of the sages? Yeah, you told me you got the mercy, you got to hear the guhyataram, most secretive, confidential knowledge and everything. But what did you do after these sages have left, who had instructed you this transcendental knowledge before beginning of your present birth? How did you do? How did you pass your life after initiation? That was kind of an initiation by Bhakti Vedantas. Bhakti Vedantas initiated Narada Muni with this secretive knowledge. So he's asking, okay, till there I understood, but how did you get this body? How did you quit your old body? How did it happen? Immediately as soon as they gave you initiation, you did not become Narada Muni. So what happened? So time annihilates everything in a due course of time. So how is this subject matter, what you heard in your previous lifetime from Bhakti Vedantas, which happened almost prior to the day of Brahma, is still fresh in your mind? And it is undisturbed by the time. How is this possible? Then Narada starts saying. So Narada says, the one who has imparted this transcendental knowledge to me, they departed to other places. And I had to pass my life in this way with the knowledge what they have given. I was the only son of my mother. My mother was very simple, and also she was a maid servant. Since I was the only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. So she was tied with my affection. She was always trying to look after my maintenance, my food, my everything. But because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me, because she has to depend on somebody. She's all alone, and she's a maid servant. So she has to. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in his hands. I remember by this, like Prabhupada says, I'm a puppet in your hands. Nachao, nachao. Make me dance in the way you want. Like that, my mother was no other things. She was no other attachments for her except me. So when I was a mere child of only 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of any different places to go. I had to stay with her. One day my poor mother, when she was going in the night to milk the cows, she was bitten by a snake. Kala, this is the influence by supreme time. He has to go further, right? Else he will be mother and son doing this maid servant menial jobs, and they will remain forever like this. So then she died. And he says, I took this as an opportunity and special mercy of the Lord. And then I started walking towards north. North is said to be the very pious. Turpu, we say, right? North. Turpu dirgi dandam petkoleda. Turpu, north is no Uttaram, right? Uttaram. North means Uttara Disha. So it has all pious places where these sages and all go. They meditate. Himalayas. I think this Badrinath, Kedarnath, Rishikesh, everything is that Uttarakhand, is right, Uttara side. So after my departure, Narada Muni says, after my departure, I passed through many metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. This is his journey, he is saying, as a soul. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals. He is describing whatever it is. I even went to the denizens' place, heaven, decorated with a lot of attractive things. Then I passed through the bushes, forests, which were difficult even to go through. I visited to deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests. Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally. I was both thirsty and hungry also. So what did I do? I took a bath in the river or lake and then drank water. By just drinking that water, I got relief from my tiredness. After that, under a shade of a banyan tree in a forest, I sat and tried to meditate on the super soul. He had no one else, no association. He was just going. Using my intelligence, what I heard from the liberated souls, I started meditating on the super soul, Paramatma. As soon as I started meditating upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with my mind, transcendental love tears started rolling down my eyes. And without any delay, the Supreme Personality of the Lord, Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. He was experiencing. At that time, I was overpowered by the feelings of happiness. Narad Muni describes, whole body became enlivened. I was feeling ecstasy. I was neither able to see myself nor able to see the Supreme Lord also. My eyes were filled with complete tears, transcendental tears. It was very satisfying to my mind's desire and cleared all my questions, all my inquisitiveness, like who am I, why am I, what is going on, what is spiritual, what is material. Everything was cleared. When after losing that form of the Lord from my vision, I suddenly got up. I was confused. Whatever I was desiring, it was there with me, and suddenly it disappeared. I desired to see it again, but despite of many attempts, with eagerness to view that form, I could not see him again. And I was very dissatisfied. And I was very much aggrieved also. Seeing my attempts again and again at lonely places, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, who is transcendental, spoke to me with gravity. Now he started hearing. That time only vision. Now he started hearing. Just to mitigate my grief, Lord spoke with a force or gravity in his words, and they were very pleasing. Now, the Lord spoke, I regret during this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Lord says, I regret that during this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. It was my mercy and your dedication I gave you a glimpse. You have only once seen me in person, and this is just to increase your desire for me. నాకేం రియలైజేషన్స్ వస్తలేదు మాతాజీ, నాకేం అనిపిస్తలేదు మాతాజీ అని అంటారు కొంతమంది. ఐ కెనాట్ ఫీల్ ఎనీ రెసిప్రొకేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లార్డ్ అంటారు. సో అట్లా డిసప్పాయింట్ కాకుండా ఉండాలని నారద మునికి ఒక గ్లిమ్స్ ఇచ్చారు చిన్న బాబులాగా. బికాస్ ద మోర్ యూ హ్యాంకర్ ఫర్ మీ, ద మోర్ యూ విల్ బి ఫ్రీడ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద మెటీరియల్ డిజైర్స్. By serving me as Supreme Personality of the Godhead or Absolute Truth, even for few days also, a devotee can attain firm and fixed intelligence about me, in me. Then he becomes my associate. He will definitely come to me. He will be happy. Bhagavad Gita says, Mad chitta mad gata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. He is always happy and he is always blissful. Happy and he is always satisfied. Tushyanti cha. When he discusses about my past tense, when he talks about me, because it clears everything. Either at the time of creation or at the time of annihilation, in both ways, the devotee will be able to see only devotion in me, towards me. Your intelligence will continue with you forever, but you will not be able to see me in this lifetime. Then that supreme authority or that sound personification, unseen by the eyes but still very wonderful, stopped speaking. I was very grateful. Narad Muni says, I was very, very grateful. Deep in the sense of gratitude, I offered my respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by bowing down. He is not seeing now, he is not hearing, but he is very grateful about what the knowledge he got, what the experience he got by hearing and seeing. Thus I began to chant the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. That's what Krishna says, right? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma suchaha. Do not fear, he says. I'm going to give you liberation. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are so beneficiary and benedictory. So doing so, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, completely humble, and non-envious, unenvious of anything. I was always thinking about Krishna. That's why I'm asking you to write about Krishna. I had no attachments. My only thought process was in Krishna. Being completely freed from all material attachment, I met with death as lightning. I met with it as lightning, illumination, everything occurred at the same time. And that transcendent awarded another transcendental body as associate of Supreme Personality of the Godhead. I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive result or karma stopped. A body elipogani a soul ki liberation vachesindi, Krishna associate kaga undipoyaru. At the end of the millennium, when the personality of the Godhead Lord Narayana lay down within the ocean, Brahman began to enter into him along with all the elements. In that elements, I also entered into Krishna in his breathing. After how many years? Bhagavatam says some 4,300,000,000 solar years, when Brahma woke up again to create with the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Maricha, Angira, Atri, everybody came with the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. That's how he got his rebirth. Since then, by the grace of the Almighty Lord Vishnu, I travel everywhere without any restriction, both in the transcendental world and in the 3 divisions of the material world. This is because I am fixed in the unbroken devotional service of the Lord. What does he say always? Narayana, 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 Narayana. We have a famous movie, Annamaya. In that he says, he disguises as a normal Brahmana and comes and asks Annamaya, why are you not eating? If you don't eat, you will die. Alisipotavu anante, alisipoyina sare, asale poyina sare, poyedemundi అని అంటారు. అన్నప్పుడు అప్పుడు చెప్తాడు, the verse, Narad Muni verse, it is quoted, right? I will not stay in the hearts of the yogis, I will not stay in the but I will stay always with whom who always sing my glories. Then Annamaya starts writing the songs about Lord Venkateshwara. I travel constantly singing the transcendental message and the glories of the Lord, vibrating my instrument called Veena, which is charged with the transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. It's amazing. It's amazing. The glories of the Supreme Lord are amazing. The glories of the Supreme Lord's devotees are amazing. And by practicing bhakti, it is not hard to get relief from the disturbances of the material world. It's not impossible. It is hard because our dedication should be strong, but it is not impossible. And he says, Vyasadeva, you are completely free from all kinds of sin. So I have explained you all my birth and activities for self-realization. It is like knowing, not equal to, but it is almost equal to that of hearing Lord's birth and activities. Hearing the pure devotee's birth and activities also, because it is beneficial. All this will be conducive for you to get closer to the Supreme Lord. Then Sutta Goswami says, thus addressing this way Vyasadeva, Narad Muni took leave, vibrating his Veena instrument. He left to wander with his free will wherever he wants. Amazing. Amazing. So we covered 3 chapters, Mataji. I know it is every day it is getting a little longer, but I'll try. Yeah. Okay, Mataji. See you. We'll come from 7th chapter next class whenever we take. In this month, I'll take 1 more class.
Okay, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So,